Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mwangi. So today we are going to go through another topic, a very interesting topic. And I'd like you to just listen in and see how this topic is going to help you in how you approach your financial or how you approach money management or personal debt management. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm very sure you've come across this particular term. It's called cash flow. And for most of you that are versant with financial statements, you realize that most corporate or most entities, they do prepare cash flow.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
And today I'm going to take you through on how to prepare your own personal cash flow or your household cash flow. Why do we need to prepare a cash flow? Maybe you may ask. Basically, a cash flow helps you to understand the money that is coming in your household or the money that is going out your household. And it's a bit different the way we compute or prepare a cash flow for household and for financial corporate entities. We have, like, for financial, for a personal or household cash flow, we have 4 components on how to prepare a cash flow. And I'm going to take you through one by one. So the number one thing that on top that you need to understand is your net monthly income. And this monthly income is not limited to only your work salary or your net income, but you can include other sources of income if you have 2 or 3 streams of income. And also for the annual one, let's say you have done investment on stocks or bonds or other investment vehicles, you can do an annual cash flow, which you have to include also the dividends as a source of income to you. But on this one, I'm going to limit ourselves to the monthly income that you usually get. And I also want to point out that there are others who usually get weekly income. So you can compute those weekly incomes and check at the end of the month the total income that you have received or you have earned for the entire month. So the first item that you need to put on top of the cash flow is your net income. And this one you have to include all the sources of income that you have. If you have one source of income, include that one. And this is a net income. If you have 2 sources of income, include the net income. Now, number 2 item that you need to include there is your monthly expenses. And this one, for most of us, is something that you need to sit down and analyze and check. What is my monthly expenses? I usually see most of us that we usually compute it very fast. We put the food there, rent, school fees and the rest. But there are other components that make up an expense. And you're talking about, let's say, even for the dinners, for the outings, the entertainment, those are expenses. Also for the airtime, for internet, for car maintenance, car insurance, those are expenses. So on the expenses, you need to be very particular and specific. Not only to generalize an expense, say that as food, rent, electricity, but there are so many things that makes up an expense. And like what I've said, include even for the entertainment, clothing, things like even for insurance, car maintenance, transport, to name it. But the expenses are many, and on my video I'm going to highlight or indicate all the expenses that you might be incurring on a monthly basis. And that's item number 2. Item number 3, of course, is an expense towards your secured loans. If you have a loan that you're paying on a monthly basis, indicate it as item 3, which is secured loan expenses. Secured loans expenses for me, let me elaborate a bit further. Secured loans, of course, these are loans that are collateralized, or they have been you've taken loans but they have attached that particular loan with an asset that you have, let's say land, title, or even your motor vehicle. So those are secure loans, but you have to indicate how much you're paying. If there are 2, 3, or even 4 loans that you're paying, which are under classified as secured loans, indicate how much you're paying on a monthly basis. We call them the repayment amount or the installment amount. Number 4, which is the last item there, is for unsecured. And for this one, for unsecured, we usually classify them as loans that you've taken, but at the point of acquisition of that particular loan, there is no collateral that was requested or was attached. So mostly these loans they fall under either a credit card or the digital loans, or even in Kenya we say the Fuliza and the rest. So when you're computing your cash flow, number 1, the income. Anything that comes up after that, your expenses need to be subtracted from your income. Your secured loan expenses, the total amount there needs to be subtracted again to your income. And thirdly, your unsecured loan expense need also to be subtracted. So at the end of it, for you to get the net cash flow, you have 2 scenarios. It's either number 1, it's a negative cash flow, or 2 is a positive cash flow. Now, if it's a negative cash flow, means that your expenses are more than your income, or your expenses, your income cannot meet your expenses. And in such a situation, what do? I usually see most people start to do their own analysis and say that I need to cut back on some expenses. Yes, you can do that, and yes, that's an option. But the question you need to ask yourself is that what if there's another option of increasing your income? If you have one source of income, look into a situation where I can start exploring or looking around in the market on how I can bring in more or another source of income. So those are in terms of your net cash flow. It's a negative indicator that you need to check on either 1, your expenses, or 2, you need to improve on your income. The second option, which is a positive cash flow, which of course is something positive by its name. It shows that you have more money than your expenses, which means that you are on the road toward wealth creation, such that the extra amount that you have can be used to invest on other investment vehicles. So in short, that's our cash flow. And the reason why it's a very critical tool for managing your personal finances or managing personal debts is that it will give you a whole picture in terms of your finances, how you are managing your finances, how your income is coming in, or how your expenses are making your income to shrink or to reduce. So in a nutshell, everything revolves around cash flow. So in the end, in our next video, I'll show you how to even go deeper and try to come up with ways to increase or to add more income or a revenue stream, so to say. But in the meantime, think about cash flow, money that you want to be more than your expenses. Thank you.